So Joseph wrote to the podcast, "Hello, folks. It's kind of hard for me to be excited about sending this email. You guys are awesome, and I've been a listener for years now, as well as a magazine subscriber." Well, thank you, Joseph. "This leak is beyond something I want to tackle. In the video, you'll notice the old roof and a few layers of shingles along the old rafters. I guess you'll figure it out from the video, but I'm a little upset now, so that's all I can say. I'm hoping you guys can give me some nice words to tell the company who installed this new/8-year-old roof kind of on top of the old roof. I apologize, but I can't seem to get the words out correctly for this email. I'm a little tired and frustrated with my old house. I'm guessing if I knew what I know now after listening to you guys, I would have looked at my wife and said, on to the next house." So Joseph sent us a short video of his attic, and what we see in there is what looks like a room addition or a larger addition with the roof framed on top of the existing roof. And the question is this an okay assembly? Did the roofing company and the framers get this right? And Brian, I know you looked at this. Mark, too. I'm going to ask you, Brian, what do you think about this situation?
Because it's structural and it's engineering, and it makes me a little nervous to give him any false hope or false concerns about this. It looked what I thought, if I'm honest, is that it looked kind of sloppy. And that made me the most nervous, right? I think you could probably do what they did, install new roof structure over this old roof structure and have it all be structurally fine, if you did it right. But for some reason, the work looked sloppy to me, and there were the way the old roof was cut back inconsistently, and you saw more of it in some places than the other. And there were he points to these kind of vertical 2x4s that are only at occasional rafters, and he says in his video these are supporting the roof. And I thought, I hope they're not there to support the roof. I didn't even actually know what they were doing there, so I was a bit confused, and I'm hesitant to say much more.
What do you think, Mark?
Very similar to what Brian said. It's the worst part about it, from what we can tell, because we really can't tell what's happening exactly up near the ridge. It's just the unprofessionalism. They tore out part of the old roof is existing, which is perfectly fine, but they didn't remove shingles off of all of it. Mm-hmm. It looks like the parts that they removed with a chainsaw or a jackhammer. It just looks very unprofessional. And but it could look like that and be 100% fine.
It could.
Now that I'm looking, there's some other blocks where those roof joists are sitting on. Some of them are sitting on blocks, and the blocks are in between just plywood, in between the old joists, and the plywood is kind of bowing down there. And the thing that concerns me the most are those two strange vertical braces. They're mid-span between the roof, and they go down to the ceiling, of the space below. And maybe there's a load-bearing wall beneath those things, but either way, a simple roof should carry the load from the ridge down to the exterior wall. It shouldn't need, besides a couple ties, it shouldn't need anything there. And why they felt they needed something there makes me very suspicious. From what I've seen, to me, I would get a professional to look at it, because. And then also, what happens? The way this thing looks like it's tied together. What happens when you even get a mild tornado, a mild hurricane, or a severe straight line winds? Is this new roof the way it's tied into the old one? I don't see any hardware or anything, so I don't like it.
I think that's a good summation.
Just the shingles and just the way they tore it apart. You can do that. I wouldn't do it that way, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. But there's enough other warning signs where I would have someone take a look at it.
I agree, Mark. It looks really shoddy, and whoever did this was either in a very big hurry or an amateur, and I would want someone to look at it too. Room additions are framed on existing roofs, and I've seen shingles as part of that assembly a number of times. I think it has everything to do with the care that the connection is made, and obviously it's better if you remove the roofing to tie it in structurally, but oftentimes there's very little load if it's a, continuation of a ridge over a hip, for example, a hip roof. Yeah, I would want someone to look at this, Joseph. And what I would say, if you want kind words or encouragement, is this has been here for 8 years. And that's an indication to me that it's reasonably safe. But as Mark suggested, high winds can change that equation very quickly. Well, if y'all wouldn't mind, go take a look at the video that Joseph sent us on the podcast page, and let us know what you think. And I'm curious if
Can
you all go ahead.
Well, can we give Joseph some hope? Like if a pro goes in there and there are some issues that
It's easy to fix,
that they
right?
recognize, right? It's fixable, probably right within working just within that attic and adding either hardware or a few extra structural components here and there. Yeah, he's not going to need to tear his roof off and start again.
You're totally right, man. This is not
Yeah.
hard. This is a good carpenter spending a day or two straightening this out, right?
Yeah.
And maybe the place to start is with the local building inspector. I don't know how that works. If they come out, if they got a permit although that makes me wonder if a building inspector ever looked at it the first time. I don't know.
It also makes me, what if he inspected it the first time?
Right. Yeah, maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe get somebody else.
Well, I'm pleased to announce that Dan Colbert has recently released a new e-learning course on framing for high performance homes, and we're all very excited about that. Brian, you want to add anything except to say that?
Yeah, I just think if you are planning a new home, new high performance home, or if that's the work you do or work you want to move into, I think Dan's course is going to really help sort through the options for different framing different types of assemblies to meet your goals. And Dan's excellent. He's super smart and he's fun. So I think it'll be a great course.
Is it geared towards just somebody who's doing it, or somebody who's maybe thinking about having somebody else do it?
I think everyone would. I think both Mark will value from this course. If because we hear when it comes to high performance stuff, and especially people who are less familiar with it, we hear from all the time from builders who want to take the leap, designers who want to take the leap, and homeowners who need information because they can't find someone who's done the work before, and they need so they really need to be the one driving the efforts. So I really think it's going to be a great course for any one of those people.
I would say designers too, because oftentimes
Totally.
they draw things that are not going to work in the real world, right? Or they're just too overly complicated. So let's teach them the ways that people are actually going to do it, right?
They would
Totally.
never do
Going
something
from
like that trick. Never.
What's that, dude?
Complicated and unworkable, a designer?
Well, we delight in hearing from you all who listen to the show. Thank you very much for writing in. But unfortunately, that is all the time we have for today. Thanks to Mark, Brian, and Andres for joining me. And thanks to all of you for listening. Please remember to send us your comments, questions, and suggestions to FHB Podcast at finehomebuilding.com. And please like, comment, or review us. However you're listening, it helps other folks find the podcast. Stay safe, everybody. Keep craft alive. Be nice to your roofers.